2 different colored socks today. So as we settle into our mat here with feet hip distance apart and knees bent, we're going to go ahead and close your eyes if you want to as we start to bring more focus and awareness into our bodies and noticing a couple things. One, our low back might have that natural kind of curve in it, and so we might notice that those vertebrae are not necessarily in contact with the mat, and that's normal. The other thing we notice is that natural curve in our necks. Once again, that is normal. We want to kind of maintain those natural curves of our spine throughout class so that we can eventually transfer these ideas to standing positions. So start to deepen your breath here, inhaling through the nose and exhaling forcefully through the mouth. Option to have hands on your belly or on your chest, just observing what's going on here. Asking yourself where you're breathing from, if it's more so from your chest expanding outwards and inwards, or more from your belly rising up and slowly lowering down. And we're not trying to breathe one way or the other, but we're just noticing how we're breathing and where. On this next one, we're going to start to bring a little bit of tightening, some gentle activation in through the center of the body as we exhale. So exhaling and just drawing that rib cage down, pulling the belly button in and feeling this deep wrapping sensation. And then as we inhale, we can just relax and release everything. So starting to notice the difference between those two positions. Inhaling and relaxing, exhaling and just a gentle tightening, feeling like you can connect your ribs at the bottom to the top of your hip bones. And so it's kind of just a deep general sense. On this next one, we're going to exhale and hold that gentle activation in your center. Maybe feeling around with your fingertips and seeing what is working in that deep layer. And we're just continuing normal breathing here. So we can notice that we can hold this gentle activation while we're still able to breathe normally. Transferring this idea to sitting, standing, walking, talking. Keep holding that gentle activation, and we're going to just start to lighten up both feet a little bit. So see how you can lighten the feet as if they're floating on clouds. Hold that position. Maybe it happened by taking a slight tuck up with the tailbone, and that helps you to lighten up the feet. Maybe we're doing that and spine is staying neutral, meaning we're still not actively pressing that low back down, but we're still able to do all of those things at the same time. From here, we're just going to march and hover one foot off of our mat, and then gently placing it back down, switching sides. Other side lifts and lowers. Thinking about hinging from the hips here and being able to lift and lower that leg using your lower abdominals rather than your legs and your hip flexors. So trying your best to share that work between all three and not just one muscle group. On this next one, we're going to start to raise our marches up a little bit higher so that our ending position is knee directly over hip in our tabletop position. So keep alternating, keep holding that activation, keep breathing. And then from here, let's meet one leg up in tabletop, anchor in with our pelvis and our core, and then meet that other leg up at the top as well. Ask yourself what's working, what's not working, and then from here, we're going to take our fingertips of just one finger, bring them right to our thighs, kind of towards the knees. And we're going to exhale and very gently just press down into our thighs. Thighs are holding steady. And seeing if this deepens that activation here. So maybe taking the fingertip off and seeing how that changes. Exhale, press down, maybe a deeper sensation. Last one. Exhale, press down. And then take a break, hugging your knees into your chest. Maybe giving yourself some circles or rocking side to side. Feeling our core getting warmed up here. On this next one, we're going to meet back in tabletop, knees directly over the hips, knees bent right at 90. And then from here, we're going to reach one leg nice and long at that 45-degree angle. And then inhale, bend it back in. Exhale, push long, alternating sides. Inhale, back in. Keep switching. And make sure that as you bring that knee back into tabletop, it's not coming closer to your chest. We're staying right above the hip. On this last one, hold one leg straight and long, little lifts up, an inch up and an inch down. For 3, 2, 1, bend that knee in again. Exhale, push the other leg straight, hold it there. 1 inch up, 1 inch down. Good. For 3, 2, and 1. Bend that knee back in and give yourself another hug. Taking a nice deep breath in through the nose and exhaling through the mouth, letting it go, letting those hips relax. From here, one more set in our tabletop. Find hips right underneath the knees again. From here, we're going to squeeze heels together, toes apart, so widen those knees. And then exhale, we're going to frog press, pushing those legs to that 45 degrees, and then bend back in. Again, exhale, push long and straight, and then back in. As you straighten those legs, you want to think about a zipper running all the way from the heels, coming through those inner thighs, and even up through the pelvis, the chest, everything kind of zipping up towards midline. Last one here, exhale. Perfect, bend back in and relax, taking a break. We're going to switch gears, feet are going to come back down to the mat, and switching to some bridges here. So, let the arms come down by your sides, feet are again flat and hip distance apart. We're going to start with just some pelvic tilts to get us warmed up here. So, inhale through the nose to prepare. Exhale, just tuck tuck the tailbone up only. This time you are pressing your low back down into the mat, and then inhale, just release that tailbone back down, relaxing the belly. So again, exhale, using your lower abdominals to draw your pelvis up towards your belly button, and then relax back down. A few more like that. Exhale, tilting. It's pretty small here. See if you can keep your feet light to start. Maybe your hands are on that lower belly so you can feel something happening here. On this next one, we're going to start to just raise the hips up one vertebrae at a time, a little bit higher each time. So lift the tailbone and then one vertebrae up higher, squeezing the glutes and slowly lower back down. You're trying to make this as segmental as possible, meaning that we're not just lowering and lifting as one unit. We're really trying to roll and round through the spine as best we can. Good. Making our way into a halfway lift. This can either be, this is very subjective, so whatever halfway feels like for you. And we're going to hold here at the top. So hold here in this halfway lift. Steady your pelvis, meaning one side isn't drooping down further than the other. We're pressing equally through both feet. And we could balance something right here on top. So hold this position, relaxing head and neck. And we're just going to start to tap both toes up towards the ceiling and then both down. Tap toes up and down. Up and down. Keep that tailbone tucked under. Last two. And one, bring the toes down, and then both heels are going to lift and lower. Bringing a little bit of work into our calves and specifically our soleus muscle. Last two here. And heels come down, slowly lower your hips down. Tailbone's the last to touch. Perfect. From here, let's go ahead and raise one leg into tabletop. Knee directly over the hip. And we're going to press through our bottom heel for a single leg bridge here. So we're still trying to keep hips level. Exhale, lift to the top. And slowly lower. Find control here. Two more like that. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Last one. And lower. Perfect. Reach underneath that top leg, right behind the knee. Quick hamstring stretch here. So exhale, straighten that leg out as much as you can, pressing the back of the knee towards the hands, and then bend it back in. Exhale, press the back of the knee towards the hands, and bend. If you're getting all the way straight, maybe start with that knee in closer to the body, and relax. Perfect. Let that side come down and other leg comes into tabletop. Setting yourself up, level hips. Hold here. Exhale, press down through that bottom heel. Raise the hips to the top and slow on the way down. Two more like that. Exhale, lift, squeeze, and lower. Last one. exhale, straighten that leg. Maybe that first one feels really tight. And then bend it back in. Maybe these next two feel like you're able to get a little bit further, a little bit straighter. Hold, squeeze. Maybe you're getting some shakes. And lower. Last one. And relax. Perfect. Take both knees towards your chest. Give yourself a hug. We're going to do one really nice release for the low back. So for this one, your knees are going to push away from your chest, but your hands that are wrapped around your shins are going to pull your knees in towards your chest. So both of those are going to happen at the same time. This is a push-pull combination. So again, knees push away, hands pull in. Nothing quite moves, but we should feel a nice opening through the low back. Maybe like those bottom vertebrae are gapping away from each other. You can add a little rocking side to side if that feels good. You can relax between it, and then again pushing and pulling. Doesn't look like I'm doing that much since this is an isometric exercise. But again, hands pulling this way, knees pressing away, and we should get a nice opening here. Perfect. From here, let those feet come back down, and we're going to roll right over onto our side. So pick a side, it doesn't matter which since we'll do both. Set yourself up fully on your side, meaning as you roll, sometimes this bottom hip doesn't quite get right up underneath you. So make sure that you're fully on your side to start. Hips are stacked one on top of the other, meaning straight line drawn from hip bone to hip bone. And then the top of the body is relatively still. So no movement through the chest, no movement through the shoulders. Head can be supported in your hand or resting on your arm. Top hand somewhere other than the mat. So resist that temptation to let it push down in front of you. Hand either on the top hip or behind the head or on the belly. From here, top leg is going to reach up at the height of the top hip. Reach that leg 1 inch longer than you think you can, maybe bringing more activation through the belly. And then from here, keep that length. We're going to inhale, kick forward a few inches for 2 counts. Exhale, squeeze to the back for 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, back. I am only kicking as far as I can while maintaining control in my upper body. So I could kick further, but I know that any further, then I would lose this sense of stability here. On this next one, we're going to start a little bicycle kick. So bend and extend, reach that leg as long as you can. Bend, extend, and reach long. Reverse directions on this next one. So straight to the front, bend, extend to the back. Straight to the front, bend and extend to the back. On this last one here, hold that leg straight down underneath you. Reach it long again. We're going to draw small circles about the size of a tennis ball or baseball. Breathing here for 3, 2, reverse directions. We should be feeling some good work coming right into the top of the hip. For 3, 2, hold it lifted. On this last one, we're gonna straighten the bottom leg if it's not already. This one I call hot potato. So that top foot is gonna jump in front of the bottom, raise it back up, and then jump to the back. Up and hop. Good. So we're just switching between the front of the foot and over to the back. Hot potato. Last 2. And 1. Perfect. Relax this top leg. We're going to bend both knees in a little bit. My legs are about 45 degrees. You can always adjust that if you're not feeling the work in our target muscle up here. We're going to be here for some high clamshells. So again, top hand maybe on the top hip. We're going to hinge and lift both feet off of our mat. Hold here. So this is our starting position. Then top knee is going to lift, heels stay together, and slowly lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Making sure that as we lift, we're also not rocking back. So pretend like there's kind of a wall behind your back and that you're not able to roll that top hip back. On this next one, we're going to add a little kick. So top knee lifts, kick out long and straight, bend back in and lower the knee. Only 2 more like that. Lift, kick, in and down. Last one. Kick, in and down. Relax those feet. Perfect. Take those knees a little bit more in, closer to your chest if you can, and then relax your head on your bottom arm. From here, our favorite open book twist. Top hand, arm reaches long, opening that shoulder, and then eyes following your hand, open towards the ceiling. Arm can either stay bent or straight, and taking a nice twist through the spine. You can either hold here or start to close back that book. Good, 2 more like that. Maybe reach forward first. Options with this top arm. Maybe it reaches up more above the head like a shoulder clock. Playing around with what feels best. Nice stretch in the pecs. Rotating the neck as well. Close it back. 1 more. And close it here. Let's go ahead and flip onto the other side. So maybe taking a nice 180, taking your time, and we will stretch out those glutes after this side here. So setting it up the same way, fully on our side, hips stacked, one on top of the other. Everything above the waist, frozen and still. Pull up with that belly supporting us here, and then top hand either on top hip, behind the head, or on that belly, kind of monitoring what's going on. Top leg is going to reach up at the height of the hip. Lengthen that leg 1 inch longer than you think you can. Hold that length. And then inhale, kick forward. Exhale, squeeze back. And instead of saying kick back, I'm kind of saying squeeze back to make sure that we're not kicking too far. If we kick too far, we definitely will notice that forward lean with the chest, the belly, and things just kind of get out of whack. So instead of a kick back, it's definitely more of a squeeze back. Inhale forward, exhale back. How still can you be in your upper body? On this next one, adding that bicycle kick, bend and extend every time that leg lengthens and straightens, reaching it long. Keep the breathing going. Starting to feel work once again in that top hip. On this next one, reverse directions. Straight to the front and bend and extend to the back. Last one here, that leg comes right underneath you, small circles. These circles are coming from the hip socket rather than the ankle. Reverse directions. From here, extend that bottom leg straight if it's not already. We're here for our new one, hot potato. So top foot jumps in front of the bottom, reaches back up to the height of the hip, and then jumps behind. It is totally okay if that top foot doesn't necessarily tap in the back. Sometimes that's hard for people to do. It's maybe easier to tap in the front than it is to tap in the back, but trying our best to kind of bring it back. Last one here. And relax both feet. Take a slight bend with the knees, kind of coming in that 45-degree angle. And then from here, reminder for the belly, it's lifted. Both feet are going to raise up a few inches. From here, top knee only, exhale, lift, and lower. Heels stay glued together. Making sure that that top hip doesn't roll backwards, that nothing is opening up towards the ceiling, that our target muscle is right back here. On this next one, we'll add that kick. So top knee opens, extend out in our kick, bend in and lower down. Exhale up, kick, in, and down. Last one. Perfect. Lower the knees, lower the feet. Take those knees in a little bit further. Take your head down onto your arm. And then top arm is going to reach long. And letting that shoulder blade come away from the spine. Reaching up towards the ceiling, eyes following your hand, open that chest. Noticing if one side feels easier to open than the other. Close it back in again, reach long. Maybe it feels better to take that arm more towards the head. And last one here. And from here, let's go ahead and roll right over onto our backs. We'll stretch it out in a figure four stretch, crossing one ankle over the knee. Doesn't matter which one because we'll do both. So with this figure four, what we're looking for is head, neck, and shoulders to stay down and relax. So if that means maybe not grabbing up underneath the leg, find somewhere else to hold so that you can keep the head, neck, and shoulders relaxed. Maybe you're rocking from side to side. Do what feels good for you. Taking some nice deep breaths here, getting into those muscles that we just worked. When you're ready, we'll switch to the other side, opposite ankle crossing over knee, letting that knee open, or maybe it feels better to pull it in. Playing around with this stretch to make it your own. Taking one more deep breath, letting those hips just melt down to the ground. Perfect. We're going to settle back down into our mat here. We're going to transition into a few lower abdominal exercises. Taking both legs up towards the ceiling. Doesn't matter if legs are not totally straight, but maybe we're trying our best to keep them straight. Arms down by your sides. Here, we're going to squeeze heels together and toes apart. Think about the backs of your inner thighs kind of pulling together, reaching towards the ceiling. This should be challenging already for the lower abs. But we're going to draw some circles here for corkscrew. So we're going to make a circle, exhaling at the bottom, and then legs back to the top, and then reversing directions. So it's one clockwise and then one counterclockwise. You can choose how big or small you want your circle to be, knowing that a big circle will be more challenging than a smaller circle. Again, breathing through this. Last one on each side. And then hug those knees back into the chest. Our next one for the lower abs is going to be a really small booty lift, I call it. So legs back up towards the ceiling, as straight as they can, but bent is also okay. With arms by your side, we're going to exhale and see if we can lift just the tailbone and then lower down. We're trying our best not to use momentum. We instead are using those lower abs to scoop up, pretending like there's a string attached from your toes that's pulling you straight towards the ceiling. Last two. And one. Relax down, hug those knees into your chest again. That one's not easy, so it's a good one to practice. From here, let's lengthen arms and legs out long like we just woke up, either pointing or flexing the feet. but just making ourselves as long as we possibly can. Maybe rolling the ankles if that feels good. And then we're gonna carefully roll onto our stomachs, maintaining some of that length that we just found with arms and legs, ending up reaching away still. Perfect. So now we're on our bellies, arms are reaching overhead, feet are reaching long. First step, engaging the belly by lifting that belly button up towards your spine. Keep it there the whole time, feeling that activation in our deep core. And then from here, opposite arm and opposite leg are going to reach really long. They are reaching so long that they start to hover off of the mat. Head comes with you. Slowly placing it back down, alternating sides. First reaching long, then reaching so long that you start to hover arm and leg, and slow on the return. Keep finding length through your low back. We're not trying to lift so high that we feel pressure or tension in that low back. We're really focused more on the length and the reach than the up towards the ceiling. On this next one, either staying here at this pace or speeding it up just a little bit. So lifting and lowering, lift and lower. On this next one, either keeping this pace or hovering both arms and both legs for our fast swimmies. So flutter kicking arms, flutter kicking legs, head stays neutral, breathing here, belly button stays pulled in for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax everything down. From here, we're going to take our hands and stack them right in front of us. Forehead can relax down. We're going to bend one knee so that foot is up towards the ceiling. And you can flex that foot as well. From here, lift belly button up towards the spine. And we're going to exhale and just hover that knee, lifting 1 inch up, stamping that foot on the ceiling, and lower down. Exhale, squeeze, lift, and lower. A few more like that. Last 2. On this last one, hold lifted, little pulses up, little squeezes for 3, 2, 1. Let that knee come down, let that leg relax. Other side, knee bends, foot flexed. Engage the core, belly button up towards the spine. Hold that. Exhale, 1 inch up, and slowly lower. No pressure or tension in the low back. We're supporting it with the core. Last 2. On the last one, hold lifted, little pulses for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax the knee down, extend here. Hands are going to come underneath the chest as we press back into child's pose. Separating the knees if that works, and then settling those hips to your heels. And this should feel really nice after that one. Let your belly relax. Let your pelvic floor relax. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. From From here, we're gonna walk both hands over to one side of your mat, maybe feeling a deeper stretch along the opposite side of the body. And then when you're ready, walking both hands over to the other side of your mat. Maybe getting a deeper stretch through that opposite side of your back. Hands walking back towards the middle. Forehead relaxed down. When you're ready, pressing onto your hands and your knees. Knees directly underneath your hips, hip distance apart. Hands directly underneath your shoulders, shoulder distance apart. We're going to start here with some shoulder blade movements. So instead of your cat-cow, where you're kind of rounding and arching your back, similar concept, except we're going to do that just kind of in the shoulder blades. So you're going to exhale and your hands are going to push the ground away, and you're going to round your upper back as much as you can. Your head can stay neutral here. And then you're going to let your shoulder blades come together toward your spine. Your chest drops down towards the ground. So it's similar to cat-cow, but it's smaller because we're focused just in that upper back area. So shoulder blades come together and then push that ground away. Shoulder blades come apart. You can see on me that my back actually stays relatively flat the whole time because the only thing moving is my shoulder blades. Coming together and pushing apart. Your head stays neutral here. Last one. Good. From here, we're going to set up for both a regular plank, and then we're going to practice some side planks as well. So if you are on your forearms, I would challenge you to have your forearms parallel and your palms facing upwards. You can definitely be on your hands too if you want to. But see if you can have your hands separated and not clasped together. From here, we're going to reach one leg back, setting up our little tuck of the tailbone, and then send your other leg back to meet. You can definitely do this on your knees as well. Holding here, setting your head in a neutral position, meaning not drooping down, not sticking up, lengthen the back of your neck long. Breathe here. Holding for 3, 2, and 1. Relax down. From here, we're going to turn onto one side. Elbow still right underneath the shoulder. Shoulder pressed away from your ear. And then knees can either be right underneath you or slightly in front. We can also do this option, straight legs coming up onto our feet, whatever you want to try. So from here, keep that shoulder pressed down away from your ear. Exhale, lifting the hips. Hold in a nice long line for 3, 2, and slowly lower down. 2 more just like that. Again, you can do this on your knees as well. Knees bent and just lifting the hips. Nice long line. Head is neutral, not here and not up. And slowly slowly lower. Last one, hold lifted for 3, 2, and slowly down. From here, we're going to come on to the other side. You can either flip this way, or I'll probably do a 180 so I can still face you guys, and setting it up the exact same way. Elbow right underneath the shoulder, shoulder pressed down away from your ear, not sinking in like this. Find that length, and then either knees or feet extended long. When you're ready, exhale, lift the hips. Long line here, hold. 2, 3, and slowly lower. 2 more like that. Exhale, lift. 2, 3, and lower. Again, we can do this with knees bent. Exhale, last 1, 2, 3, and lower. Perfect. We're going to go ahead and come on up to a seated position. With legs out in front of us, you can give them a little shake, and then we will fold forward, rounding the back, letting the head drop. Option 2, go side to side. From here, let's go ahead and stack the spine all the way up, sitting up as tall as you can, all the way from tailbone through the top of your head. Arms are going to come out in front with shoulders relaxed down away from your ears. And then starting with the tailbone, we're going to tuck it under. Start to round the back as much as you can, curling under. We're going to lower the chest only as far as we feel like we can, knowing that we're going to roll back up to the top and restack the spine. So again, starting with a flat back, all the way lifted as tall as we can, and then round the low back, round the upper back, and lower to a place where you feel like maybe it would be hard to come up from that point, and then start to bring it back up. Last one here. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Perfect. From here, we're only going to lower back about halfway. So lower about halfway or a place you feel like you can hold. One arm is going to reach up towards the ceiling, inhaling, and exhale, lower. Other hand, inhale up, exhale down. Everything else is still. Last one on each side. And sit forward and fold forward. From here, we're going to do one more set that involves a little bit of rotation. So this time, sitting up nice and tall again, arms back out front, roll back only about halfway, hold that place. We're going to inhale and open, twist, looking back behind us. Exhale, close. Opposite side, inhale, open, reach and look, and exhale, close. Last one on each side. Perfect. Fold forward here. Let's go ahead and open those feet as tall as you can. Exhale, twist, pinky finger to pinky toe. Reach, 2, 3, and twist. Exhale, reach, 2, 3, and twist. Keep that core pulled in tight. Our core is still working here. And relax everything forward and down. Inhaling through the nose, exhale through the mouth, letting yourself melt a little bit closer to the ground. Last thing here, we're going to bend the knees, maybe scooting the hips forward a little bit, having some room behind you. Tuck the tailbone under, round the back again, marching one foot up and tapping heel down. Both heels are relatively light here. If you feel good here and want to keep marching, go ahead and do that. Or maybe we hover in our boat pose. Hold here, find stillness, find balance. Breathing here. Feel all those tiny adjustments that your stabilizer muscles are making. We're here for last 3, 2, and relax in butterfly. Soles of the feet come together, nose to toes. Awesome job. Let those knees open wide. When you're ready, crisscross your legs. I'm going to face forward. From here, we're going to reach one hand or elbow to the side of us. Reach up and over with the other side. Nice long line, long stretch. And switch sides, either hand or elbow, coming down, reaching up and over with the other. And back up to the top. Clasp your hands together. Reach forward with your hands and backwards with your chest. Maybe adding a little bit of rotation here, getting a deeper stretch through the back of the body. Breathing into those upper back ribs. From here, sit back up nice and tall. Reach your hands back behind you. Inhale, open the chest. And exhale, find your tallest position here. Sitting up as tall as you can. Letting your belly button pull in to support you. We're going to roll the shoulders back for 2 and forward for 2. Inhale, raise those shoulders up towards your ears. Squeeze your eyes, your hands, every single muscle that you possibly can, including your toes. All of that tension and pressure in. And then exhale, shake everything out. Just relax it down. One more just like that. Inhale, up and in. Squeeze everything super tight. And then just let it go. Awesome. Awesome job. If you have any questions,